Scarlet Witch. PvE damage rotation overview. We'll go over the following: skills and specializations, skill rotation and tips, stamina recovery, stats to look out for. Let's start with the demonstration. Note that for this overview, I'm using a Witchcraft armor set. KS set users can use the same skills. But if you're using hacks, consider replacing the first skill. More on that later. Specializations. The first spec increases our damage against targets with status or in guard break. The second spec increases damage and stamina cost. The third spec recovers stamina every 5 skills. And the fourth increases damage after using a hex skill. Key points to remember with our choice of specializations. 1. Use a hex skill for a damage buff. 2. Apply status for a damage buff. 3. Use 5 skills to recover stamina. For reference, our skills will have 2 hex and 2 to 3 status applicators. Our first skill is Witch's Descent, which applies defense down. Useful for solo runs, but in a DPS race, consider using Witch's Sphere instead. In team fights, others will usually apply status or defense down for you, so we can focus on damage through good rotation. You could replace this with a third hex skill if using a hex set. Hex Lightning is a strong hex skill with a good cooldown to stamina ratio. Don't use this skill early in the rotation, because it has long recovery frames. Chaos Sphere is another nuke that applies status. To buff this with our spec, that increases damage against status afflicted targets. We can use Runic Absorption to apply curse status. This skill also heals us, helping us stay in the fight longer. It also has a lingering, wide, cone-shaped hitbox. Finally, we have Hex Strike as another nuke. It has fast recovery frames. Once you see the meteors, you're already able to use another skill. For our skill rotation, remember our specialization damage triggers. 1. Hex. 2. Status. Then note our stamina-related effects. 1. Increased damage for increased stamina cost. 2. Gain stamina every 5 skills. We can have a skill rotation as such. 1. Hex Strike for Hex. 2. Chaos Sphere for status. 3. Witch Sphere. 4. Hex Lightning for Hex. 5. Runic Absorption for status plus heal. Note: if you need to use Witch's Descent instead of Witch's Sphere, use it as your first skill. When in doubt, just use whatever skill is off cooldown to satisfy our spec that gives stamina every 5 skills. You need max 200% stamina recovery to maintain this rotation. The only requirement to maintain this rotation is 200% stamina recovery. Maximize your other damage stats based on your available resources. Final note on basic attacks. Try to avoid using them. The third basic attack has long frames and will interfere with your rotation. The rotation presented has near 100% uptime, so just focus on using skills. We'll end this video with a number of DPS demonstrations. Thanks for watching, and I hope this can serve as a starting point for your PvE builds.